Hey guys, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whichever applies to you. Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Julia. I'm a contemporary singing specialist based in Australia, and today I'm checking out something fun. You guys have been requesting it, and I thought, what better song to kick off the new year with than Eskimo Callboy's Pump It? Let's get into it.
I wanna feel it day and night. You are the power of my life. I wanna pump it better. I wanna feel it day and night. My work of my delight. You are the power of my life. I wanna pump it better. I wanna feel the blood with my breath so blood. The anabolic supplement, you're never gonna stop now. You better suck it up before you suck it up. Activating motherfucking beast mode. Everybody tune. Do you really wanna work it out? 'Cause I won't take it slow. This fucking life is what I'm all about. I wanna feel it day and night. I wanna feel it day and night. My work of my delight. You are the power of my life. I wanna pump it better. I wanna feel it day and night. My work of my delight. You are the power of my life. I wanna pump it better.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm going back for that drop. Where was it?
You better suck it up before you suck it up. Activating motherfucking beast mode. Everybody tune. Do you really wanna work it out? 'Cause I
What a great way of leaving that 4 on the floor beat. I mean, they'd already transitioned sort of the musical idea from it feeling very EDM, very like pop club style in the beginning, and then having the more I would say more of like that harsh arranging style with the guitars and the kit going a little bit more crazy, leaving sort of that electronic feeling, like having that transition. But what a way to progress that rhythm there, like, I certainly didn't see that coming, but it just feels right when it actually hits, like, that was really cool. Seeing those, like, close-ups of them doing, like, the leg lifts from behind in, like, tiny, teeny little booty shots, I can see why they are so excited to be at this gym, or one of the reasons why they're excited to be at this gym. This does make me a teensy bit uncomfortable, but I also understand that the flavor of Eskimo Callboy is that they, unapologetically just throw these ideas into the music videos, and there is a strong sexual undertone in a lot of what they do, so, it's there. I'm gonna feel however I feel about it, mostly because 'cause I'm female, but also the music is really fun, and I could actually see, some of the things that they've been doing musically in, like, the different kinds of fitness classes, like your EDM, like, 4 on the floor thing from the beginning, you could totally put that in any of, like, the, like, spin classes or anything that requires you as a group to be, like, doing repetitive movements, you could totally see that happening as was demonstrated by them in the beginning of the clip. And then for the heavy stuff, yes, lift all of the heavy things. I could totally see that working as well. So I think that is also really cool where they actually have managed to capture the kinds of things that you might imagine people within those particular parts of the gym listening, like what you think they might listen to. I think that's I think that's really awesome. So we're gonna keep going. Also, can I just say that the colors that are in this music video are amazing.
of my life. I wanna pump it better. I wanna feel it day and night. My work of my delight. You are the power of my life. I wanna pump it better. Just look at my blood. What a perfect mind. I pump it like a pro and I never really stop. I push myself and I push you down. My body is a ball. Look at me, fuck you, cartoon. Do you really wanna work it out? 'Cause I won't take it slow. This fucking life is what I'm all about. You're standing down with it.
Oh,
With every rap, you can see me grow every day. Split it up, let's do it again. I wanna feel it day and night. My work of my
perfect transition. Are you flipping kidding me? Oh my goodness. They have this style down pat. Jesus, party core, go off. That was such a great transition because it wasn't necessarily just a musical one. It was also the change in colors and scenery and the wink of the girl with like the brighter color on her eyes. God, just visually, they did such a good job with this too. Yes. Like completely changing the vibe from like going crazy, lift the heavy things to now we're in our class and we're enjoying being in our class. And you know what? I was gonna sit here and talk about vocals for 5 to 10 minutes as I normally do, but I've decided that I just want to see how this ends and then we will go back and we will break down some of the vocal choices because at the moment this is just a blast. I am having so much fun with this music. So
pump it. And if you feel like your body's giving up, you gotta get the pain and you pump it harder. And if you feel like the pain is getting real and making you let go, to fucking kill the bitch. To fucking kill the bitch. Wake up and hold everything and make a better version. Fucking pump. When it I just wanna pump.
okay. So I actually wasn't sure how they were potentially going to end this. And I'm so glad it ended in a comedic way because it's so on brand that I was expecting there to be like several moments that are just like laugh out loud. It's funny. There's so much comedy in their music videos, and the end just I wasn't expecting it, and it took me by surprise. It set me off. What can I say? Uh, all right. So this build towards the end. Actually, instead of going at the end, let's go from the beginning, and we'll start to talk vocals a little bit from there. I'll try to keep it short and sweet because I've broken down some of the vocal choices from Eskimo Callboy before. They're actually using things that I did hear in the previous two songs from them that I have reacted to, which was Hyper Hyper and We Got the Moves, which also just hilarious. But be that as it may, we are going to go through regardless and see how they've used it in the context of the new song. So let's go from here.
You are the power of my life. I wanna pump it better. I wanna feel it day and night. My work of my delight. You are the power of my
Okay, I'm already smiling like a goose because the music is really fun and I don't know, there's just something about Nico's face that just makes it almost like innocently suggestive as opposed to overtly suggestive, which is such a weird thing because the whole thing is overtly suggestive. That's weird, right? Maybe it's the smell. I don't know. Anyway, vocals. So, something that I think works really well is the fact that Nico's voice is so damn clean. So, by that, I mean there is not a hint of like a husk or distortion that he's bringing into his sound. You'll also hear that there isn't any vibrato that's being used. And part of the reason for that is because it's shorter phrases. So, vibrato typically in a contemporary voice kind of domain tends to come in towards the end of a held phrase, but it's not uncommon for people to use vibrato on shorter phrases as well, just not as frequently and definitely not as dominantly as if you were looking at classical or more traditional vocal styles. So you've got shorter, well articulated phrases, clean tone, and no vibrato. His placement and brightness in his sound it just checks all of the pop boxes. I've said that before. But the reason that I actually bring it up is because it is a perfect foil for what becomes a very distorted, heavy sound in the music. Of course, I can only base this off the 3 songs that I've watched so far from Eskimo Callboy, but in those 3 songs, there's been this pretty perfect blend and balance between your EDM pop into your heavy and harsh. And I think something that contributes to that perfect blend and there's almost a comedic element actually of it going from one to the other. The reason why I think that they hit the mark so well is also because of what Nico's doing on his vocals, where it is clean. You don't have as much of an indicator of what's going to come, except for where the music decides to take you, and suddenly you're dropped into it and it's amazing and brilliant and fun. So I guess that was just a long-winded roundabout way of saying I love their vocal contrast and I think it's perfect for this style. And I actually think it's an element that contributes to how well executed some of those style transformations are. I just love it. I think it's super effective. And funnily enough, I actually do think that sometimes people underestimate just how much you have to be well supported to maintain a pure, straight tone that's clean all the way through, not to be tapering at the end into some kind of vibrato. That's not as easy as people think, and it can be quite taxing vocally if your voice, if your stamina vocally is not cut out for that kind of singing. So, pop singing is sometimes perhaps not as musically difficult, and this is not talking about Nico. This is just a general observation of like the pop vocals. Sometimes it might not be as musically difficult, but it can this hard-hitting dance music style vocals that can be pretty intense and laborious as on you as the singer. So also please bear that in mind. Just because the music is really, really fun, it's super engaging, doesn't mean that the vocals aren't taxing. And in fact, this style of singing can sometimes be more taxing than the styles or the vocal choices that might let you taper off, change your dynamic, change your energy throughout a phrase. It can be harder sometimes to maintain that energy and that cleanliness, especially if you're like tired or overworked or any of that kind of stuff. So a lot of respect to people who can pull off the vocals that suit the pop style to the standard that they need to be in order to fit into the dance genre. Anyway, that's our first voice. So that's Nico, and similar tone to what he's used in the previous two. We have a little bit of nasality, that brightness there. Just, I think I said it earlier. It just ticks all of the pop boxes, and he does it really, really well. So pitch wise, where he is.
I wanna feel it day and night. My work of my delight. You are the power of my life. I wanna pump it better.
You are the power of my life. See, I'm going to vibrato. If I was to try to straight tone that, you are the power of my life. Yeah, so much more compression necessary. Pitch wise, he's up around that like tenor zone too. So clean, definitely out of the range for a lot of male vocalists. For those that don't have the extension up to there, he makes it sound really easy actually to be hitting that B flat four. Even for tenors or people that call themselves tenors, a B flat four is still heading up towards where you want to be for like a professional tenor range, which edges towards that C5. I would actually love to see more from Nico, I think, in their future songs, or if there are other songs that you're aware of that he like guns it range wise, I'd be super curious to see what he can get up to because he made that B flat four seem really easy. Anyway, so next section I want to talk about because Nico uses very similar vocal choices throughout, but the next section that I want to touch on is where we start to get heavier. So let's get over to Kevin. So one of the big things that I probably want to just talk about here is how they managed to integrate things that are more of like a speech-based vocal approach and then how that just lands into that false fold screaming. I mean, it sounds really, really cool. Let me just find it. We have layers of um what sound like false fold screaming actually at the same time as those speech like layers. I just need to find it. Okay, I think it's here.
Take it slow. This fucking life is what I'm all about. You're standing
Yeah, so we have an escalation of what's happening in those layers. So here we have a little bit of what sounds like his like a speech like voice and then ends on something that sounds like he's going towards that false fold scream or growl or whatever you want to call it. You can hear that transition. So on 2, I think. And there we have a layer of like true speech like vocals on the I don't know what the lyric is. But you can hear like some true speech vocals there on top of that layer that is using more of the harsh vocals. And then completely dropping us into that false fold scream. Speech. So his ability to, I don't know if he's doing it all at the same time, but it really does sound like he's going from like a speech approach, dropping into harsh vocals. Like it truly does sound like that. And I think that's really wicked cool. Anyways, this was an absolute blast. I feel like we're like kicking off 2022 right with the kind of energy that these songs bring us. The music video, as far as I understand Eskimo Callboy's style to be, it fits the like sexualized nature, but there's also something so funny about how they go about it that just makes you smile and laugh. The hairstyles all fit the theme. It looked like we were going almost for like an 80s kind of thing, but I think it might just be the fluoro, the bright colors, because there aren't any leg warmers. There might be some lycra, but mostly it's just the butts. Maybe I just got confused error-wise. I do think the use of color in this was absolutely amazing. I really liked a lot of the color choices in this. Very bright, very eye-catching. I feel like that suits the EDM things in there very, very well. Even the pumping of the iron, I thought matched the harsh elements of this song really, really well. So visually and musically, just amazing how they put some of this stuff together. The guitar that had the weight on it and behind it, it's just small things that are so funny. And then, of course, how they ended this music video, just it sent me. I just thought that was so funny. He pumped too hard. Okay, he pumped way too hard. It went into the ceiling. Anyways, that is where I'm going to leave this one today, guys. I hope that you enjoyed this one. I certainly did. I feel like we're kicking off the new year right with these kind of party vibes, just getting ready to go and, put your best intentions into the New Year's resolutions, however long they happen to last. Anyways, if you did like this video, please be sure to give it a like, click the subscribe button, and the bell notification beside it for more just like this one. As usual, I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are staying healthy, and I will see you next time. Bye! Why? Because it's Eskimo Callboy, and their last two songs have been absolute bangers. Like, you just want to do the pigeon head dance thing. You gotta try not choking on your own spit just because of how funny the video clips are. Anyways, if you did like this video, please be sure to give it a like. We had the curly perms. Did I just say curly perms? I'm an idiot with the leg warmers. Oh no, there weren't any leg warmers. They were just butts. Never mind.